So you expect me to believe that we are living in a world with 8 billion people. There's 8 billion of us, 8 billion human beings, most of whom are living in cities and metropolitan areas, living in close proximity to other people, most of us. And there's a loneliness epidemic. You can't tell me that's not manufactured. Honestly, I feel like nothing I'm saying is even going to be that surprising or new to anyone because literally, like, how can we be living with 8 billion people on this world, like, as more than we've ever lived, more that's ever been ever in life? Ever in like recorded history, 8 billion people. Are you kidding me? That's more than ever. And there's a loneliness epidemic. It's got to be manufactured. It's got to be manufactured. And that's not to say that you're wrong for being lonely, or you're not actually lonely, because God knows. I've lived most of my life being lonely. I've lived most of my existence as a Gen Z person. I'm literally young. I'm like 20. I forgot how old I was for a second. I'm not I'm like whatever. I'm young, okay? I was born in 2000 and something. I'm not going to tell you. But most of my life I've been lonely, and that's kind of bonkers, guys. Like that's like I beg. So that's not to say that you're wrong for being lonely, or like you were tricked or fooled or whatever. No, it's been manufactured because being lonely, how is it that so many of us are so lonely? It's sad, it's depressing, it's devastating, honestly. Because if we're all so lonely, you would think like, oh, one lonely person put two lonely people together in a room and now they're not lonely anymore. Now they're together, friends, communities, family, yay. But no, because I believe that one of the main reasons why people are so lonely is not just because the government has overworked us and made it so that it's impossible for people to have any free time, because you need like two, three jobs in order to balance like work, family, friends, everything is like impossible. Like that's, yes, that's the main thing of like people are so busy working, overworking themselves, that they don't have any time to focus on relationships, friendships, community, anything outside of surviving, right? Keeping people in a state of constant depletion, keeping people in a state of constant lack, so that they need to be chasing something. They need to be striving or working so hard for money to survive, to feel comfortable, or at least have a sense of like, I'm okay, I'm good, you know? And that never comes because we get tricked into capitalism, into thinking like, oh, I just need to work more, I just need to work harder, and then it's gonna pay off, and then I'm gonna be okay and be comfortable and be able to chill. And no, that never comes, because there's always another checkpoint. There's always like gonna be like, you need more money. There's always gonna be a need for more. So that never works. Even if you do have a really good paying job, or even if you don't even need a job, if you're a child, like for how I've been a child for most of my life. I've been lonely for so much of my life, and I've been a child. Not only was it that my parents were extremely busy working so much that they only had a limited amount of time and energy to give to me, because they were so busy working and figuring out their own life with their own trauma and their own issues and problems and their own mental health and everything, you know? So not only did I not have my parents present in my life enough to not feel lonely, but also I was still going to school every day. I was still had my siblings, my friends, or the people that I like, my classmates, my schoolmates, my peers, and I was still lonely. Why? Because we are not taught to take care of each other. We're not taught community. We're not taught how to be a good friend. We're not taught how to be there for someone who's struggling. We're not taught how to like talk to people. We're not taught how to love people genuinely, truly, honestly. We're not taught these things. And so, because we're not taught how to be friends, how to be family, how to be community members, we don't know. This is something that used to be so innate to being human because back in the day, we needed each other to survive because back before there was urbanization, before there was globalization, before there was even like anything. But when we were in the jungle, bro, when we were in the jungle, you needed to have at least one other person to watch your six. Because what about a tiger comes and gets you? A bear comes and gets you? A lion comes and gets you? You need someone to watch your six because if not, when are you gonna sleep? You can't sleep in a tree. The fucking bears can climb the trees. Okay, so you needed community. You needed other people to help you survive because you needed someone to watch your six. You needed someone to go catch water while you watch the fish or the food that you caught or that you killed or whatever so that the animals don't get into it. You need someone to go get water or go build a fire or do like you needed people. And so people like we were never meant to be alone. We were never built to be alone. We were never meant to be alone. You need two people to make a baby. You know what I mean? So we were always meant to live in community, to live together. But capitalism has taken us so far out of this reality of like needing people, needing other people to survive, that we have like so many people think that we can do it all alone. Think that like actually I'm an independent person. I don't need anyone. I don't need any friends. I don't need any partner, boy, anything. I don't need any family, nothing. We think we like get in our heads that we think we can do it on our own because also capitalism kind of uplifts people who like went at it alone and came from nothing and like had no help and you know capitalism kind of uplifts this idea of like being self-made and blah 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 and not needing people when in reality nobody has ever done it alone because you can never be alone. There's no such thing as being alone. You're never alone. Even if you're in the bush completely like separated from other humans, you still have animals, you still have plants, you still have the birds and the trees. Like you're never truly alone. You can never be alone because you're there and there must be something else there with you, the sun, the sky, everything. But in reality people usually aren't living alone in forests or in the bush, so like away from so many people. People are usually living in communities, in other communities, alongside other people. So how can we sit here and say I feel so alone, we feel so alone, when there's literally people outside? There's people outside. So that's why it's been manufactured, not only through capitalism, not only through this sense of hyper independence, but also because we have not been taught how to be good people to each other, how to be good friends, how to be loving, how to be community members. In fact, what we're being pushed right now and what we have been pushed by for the past maybe decade or so is like self care. Take care of yourself, boundaries. Someone crosses you, someone hurts you, cut them off, cut people off, put up boundaries between you and another person. For what? Exactly. Because the only thing that cutting people off actually does to us is it gives us a more of a sense of control over the situation. Let's say someone starts moving in a way we don't like, we put boundaries. So I don't need to see you moving in that way. You're moving in a way that doesn't vibe with me. You're moving in a way that like maybe something happened to you, you're hurt from your past or from the present moment. I don't know. Maybe you're hurt and you're moving in a way that makes me uncomfortable. So I'm going to put distance between us. I've been there, I've done it. Trust me, I've done it to people where they're moving in a way that I don't like, so I put distance between us. Oh, you said something or you did something, I'm cutting you off. And that's not to say that it's not important to have boundaries and to put distance between when people are genuinely being hurtful, abusive, and like actually violent and abusive. Yeah, totally. Put the boundaries, totally cut people off for sure. But it's become such a thing of like self-care, taking care of yourself, putting yourself first, like this kind of selfishness. And don't get me wrong, humans are inherently selfish and there's nothing really wrong with being selfish, okay? I don't believe there's anything wrong with it. But well, I mean, I don't believe there's anything wrong with the fact that humans are inherently selfish people because we think of ourselves because of survival. That's how we've been made to be as humans. Selfishness, obviously, in certain contexts, yeah, is not great because we live in communities. Like, we should not, like, the thing is, like, when we are so quick to cut people off and so quick to distance ourselves from people, we don't realize that this is the reason why we continue to be lonely. This is the reason why we get stuck in the same cycles. This is the reason why we don't have community, we don't have friends, or that when we actually need community, deeply when we need community, it's not there for us because we weren't there for community. And we don't realize it until we're the ones in need, until we're the ones that are struggling and making mistakes and looking for people like, hey, are you going to stick beside me even though I made a mistake? I need a friend right now. Are you going to stick beside me? We don't realize that we've been doing that to people until people do that to us in return. Because whatever you put out is what you get back in return. And we don't realize that we haven't been there for community until it's too late. Yeah.